Peter Vanalia coming to you from the paddock here at Yonkers Raceway in New York with a look at tomorrow afternoon's 7 mile-and-a-quarter trot races, 2 of them with 12-horse fields and 5 of them with 10-horse fields. And we're going to talk with Jason Bartlett, our leading driver and the number 4 driver in North America, to get his insights on his horses for tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Pete.
In the first race, you're starting from the 5-hole for For You Almosttree. It's the potent Banker Bartlett combination, and you won with him the last time he was at this level, but been a little bit more erratic lately, including a break 2 back as a 7-5 favorite.
Yeah, he made a break that night, and he was still going to win, and then he made another break around the last turn, and things got a little tight. He just wasn't on his game that night, obviously, but you know, this 18,000 came up really tough this week, I thought. A lot of horses dropping down from, you know, the open down to almost 25,000, and then down to 18, so this is a really tough race that came up this week in this class. Yeah,
particularly with the 2 inside horses who are open caliber types, and they drew the best posts. And this is class relief, but now with him, he's kind of one that you're going to have to take him off the gate on tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd probably take him off the gate and try to you know, run him against these horses. Dewey coloring the lines 10-1 more than the line knows 18,000, so that shows you how tough this race is. So you know, take him off the gate and then go from there.
And in the second race, you're driving Zorgwick Noah from trainer Mike Forte from the 9-hole, win in a second, but then he jumped it off at 9-5 in his last. What happened there?
Just got a little bit too hot when we were going to the gate. Got him in there a little bit too early. But as you can see, he was off 18. Got, you know, only missed the race by 9.5. I thought the horse raced really, really good afterwards. So I would expect if I don't mess this up again, he should be fine.
Now, he does have speed, but unfortunately he is stuck in the second tier. Do you think he'll have any particular trouble with that, especially coming off the break?
No, I'll be more aware of like last week, so try to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, and the other benefit, I guess, in that race, you do have at least a little bit of early foot with the rail horse.
Yeah, the rail horse gets out of there really well. After that, I think this horse stands a really good shot.
All right, and race 3 again for trainer Mike Forte. You're driving from the 7-hole, ELLIE. Now, there's some good news and some bad news. The good news, he comes in off of a perfect trip with you aboard last week, a win. The bad news, steps up to the open level and gets the worst of the 1-7 draw.
Yeah, just a really nice horse. Raced really good last week. Find himself in with the open horses. So, I mean, this is an open race. It's not a real tough open. But, we got 7-hole, with Lemon City, drawing the second tier, trailing. So it puts us in a tough spot there.
Yeah, no, I was going to say Luminosity, when we had the International Trot today, Luminosity was able to have his nose on the gate. This time he's handicapped so that he's in the back of in the second tier. Any chance of using some speed here from ELLIE to get away from Luminosity a little bit?
I don't know, because the 1 and 2 can get out of there pretty good, so it doesn't look like he's going to be in a terrible spot. The 3 doesn't really get out of there that well. I'm sure Crazy About Pat's going to take, and I'm sure Saruga's going to go out of there too, so that's the only way he likes to race. So I think there's going to be some early speed there, and it's going to be pretty interesting first turn.
Yeah, it makes it tough for you early. Now in the 4th race, you're driving an interesting horse, BOFFIN, last seen here in 4 tries at the open level, facing the likes of Milady's Monet, Luminosity, now returns at a reduced level. Now, you've never driven this one before, but what do you know about him?
I've driven against him a bunch of times, always from his 3-year-old to now. Never driven him, but looks like a really nice horse. Raced win 51 in a piece 2 weeks ago, so figures pretty well in this race.
Now, I'm going to test your handicapping skills here. You're 5-2, and the favorite, Therapeutic, is 2-1, drawn just inside of you. And I don't know that they've ever competed against each other. How do you think those 2 compare with one another?
I know Therapeutic really well just because it races here every week. By the looks of the lines, I got the better horse. Therapeutic likes to be up front, up close. Doesn't really like to cut the mile out. A little lazy. So, but you got. I think it's a 2-horse race there, really. I mean, the horse raced really good his last couple starts. So, that's my job.
As in many of the races here, we'll have a duel between Jason Bartlett and George Brennan. And in the 6th race from the 5-hole, you're driving again for trainer Richie Banker, Monroe County, who is a winner of 3 of his last 6. But there are 2 things about his last start. He went off stride, and he was claimed by Rich Banker, one of our most successful claiming trainers. Now, it's another one I believe you've never driven before. What do you know about him?
Just takes a lot of air, finishes up really well. Looks like doesn't leave overly that good, so you really can't. But has the rail here, so Scottish Cross leaves really well. KLM Express leaves really well when he wants to. So I think there'll be a little bit of early foot there. Bastille's dropping down, so looks like an interesting race, and hopefully, she races well, off the claim.
Yeah, it's the kind of horse, though, at least from the rail, you may be a little forwardly placed. That may make that late kick a little more effective.
Yeah, hopefully we get around, in a perfect world, we get our way third or fourth, here. So we can get away fifth, sixth, and then coming first over and racing really well. So looks like it has a nice shot. Scottish Cross raced really well last week. So
yeah, that one's really been on a roll.
Yeah.
And then the seventh race, again from the 5 you're driving for again trainer Banca, Trading Places, and owner Joe Feraldo. Tough trip in his last, but he really does seem to fit pretty well at this level.
Yeah, this is a pretty good class for this horse. I came first over last week, felt really good around the last turn, then kind of faded in the stretch. Only got beat 2.5, but actually raced pretty good considering first over. It doesn't look like a really tough group here, but this horse had to trip this one out.
Yeah, he's won 3 of his last 6, and I think this is particularly going to be interesting at the start. The 2 does have some wicked speed, but he's gone off stride in 2 of his last 3, so that makes things interesting.
Yeah, that horse, if it behaves, I don't think we can beat it. It made a break last week, come to a standstill, and then made a huge 3-wide move down the backside, and only got beat a length. So that horse is by far the horse to beat. If it behaves.
But if something should happen early, that's why you want Jason Bartlett at the controls. He can make that instant decision and put Trading Places right in play. So remember, tomorrow, first 7 races, 1.25 miles. Thanks for joining us, Jason.
Thank you.